Hello everyone, my name is Lowko, and welcome to some more StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today I'm playing another live game for you, and this time around it is going to be on the Ruins of Endion against an opponent known by the name of John Zar, I guess is what we're going to be calling him, because I can't read his entire nickname. All things considered though, I'm going to try my very best here to go for a aggressive Zergling type play. So what I want to go for is an expansion into a gas geyser, into a spawning pool, and we're going to be making a lot of Zerglings, because we're also going to be getting the evolution chamber really early on into the game to get the +1 melee attack upgrade out as early as we possibly can. Now, I've been doing those kind of... What? Did he just steal both of my gas? What? This is the first time I have ever seen this. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. What? Like, why would you... What's the advantage here? Alright, well, he wants me to play defensively. I am okay with that. I guess we are not going to be going for the +1 attack Zerglings. I just have to be careful here if my opponent goes for a lot of aggression. I have never seen this before. I kind of like the idea, I guess, of preventing your opponent gas because it's going to throw them off hardcore. But I don't think it's that big of a deal for me right now. I mean, you got to keep in mind, he is delaying his... like, economy a ton by this. Like, the fact of the matter is he just wasted 2 workers in both, like, travel time as well as mining time. And then he also, obviously, basically killed them by making the 2 extractors. So, we'll see exactly what he's planning on doing here. He is droning up hardcore himself. He's not producing a queen yet, and he's only just now getting his first gas started. So, he's not actually planning on any kind of early game aggression either. Kind of surprising, really. We'll make 1 spine crawler here, just in case. And we'll start producing some lings, I suppose. I'm trying to think here what I should follow this up with, and I'm kind of contemplating going straight for a 3rd base. I don't think that would be that bad of a decision. Yeah, he's just simply trying to macro out of this, play a very standard game, just with denying me the gas. Alrighty. So that's okay. That's okay. I guess we can then talk about gas in this game, right? We can talk about gas timings. I was planning on going for some Zergling aggression. I think this is more than fine, though, at this point. So... basically, in general, taking gas geysers obviously is a very important thing to do because, hey, you need your, you need your gas geysers to get the additional income early on, and to actually prevent yourself from dying in a lot of scenarios. You do need those banelings defensively and whatnot just to try and deal with things. Now, you gotta keep in mind he's investing a lot into this, right? It's not like he is doing this for 100% free, and I think for that very reason, I can just hold on here with relative ease off of at least 2 bases, but potentially also on a 3rd one. So I am already getting the 3rd base here. It may not be staying up, but either way, like if he wants to deal with this, he's gonna have to make units. And I guess with 2 spine crawlers, he's gonna have a very hard time breaking this. So I'm okay with it. Generally speaking, the timing you want to be taking the upgrade set. And the, I think I could have taken that, but not sure. Generally speaking, if you want to be taking the gas geysers, you do so right around the same time as you hit full saturation on minerals in your bases. Now, so far, I'm actually going to be skipping Zergling speed altogether. It's not going to be that useful for me anyway, and as long as I take down these rocks, I don't think my opponent can do very much. What we'll do is transition to a +1/+1 timing attack, okay? So we'll go for the good old +1/+1 timing. Considering my opponent invested a lot into the early game aggression, I don't think he will have very much to do with this. Now, this is extremely uncommon, something I haven't seen before in all of Legacy of the Void. You used to see this for a little while, way back in the day. But knocking down the rocks, I think, does give us a very nice, head start as far as defending all kinds of aggression goes. And we'll move over one of these spines to this base as well. Do want to know whether or not he actually expanded himself. I will have to keep an eye out whether or not he's knocking down any of my rocks, but this is fine. I'm going to go ahead and knock down these rocks myself, go for the +1/+1 upgrades. Get those started ASAP, and yeah, he is actually just getting it. So I think what he's trying to do here is play a muta-focused style. I think he's trying to play a muta-focused style that won't allow me to get a decent amount of mutas out myself. Now, as long as we hit a timing in his face right before I can truly, like, start dying to the sheer amount of mutas that he has, we're in a good spot. So, I'm trying to saturate 4 gases here while having a reasonable saturation at the third base. Don't need a full saturation there. But we're using the links here to sort of open up the shortcut between the bases. And we'll go from there. We'll push out right when all of these upgrades finish here. So I'm gonna actually start making non-stop roaches at this point in time. Now that we've got the third and the fourth gas finishing up. And we're just gonna simply start making a ton of stuff. And I think my opponent is gonna be caught off guard by this. I think he's gonna be caught off guard by this. Just because he is not actually using the early game, like, pressure here at all. He's just sort of sitting back. Nor does he have any kind of scouting potential. So I don't really want him to know about my roaches. But I also do need to make sure I knock down these rocks as soon as possible. So this is sort of like a decision, I suppose, I just sort of have to make. I made the spine crawlers in case of early game defense. He does have an overseer out right now. So I think he is going to be able to do, you know, some sort of mute-up play very shortly. But I think, as long as we push out right when our upgrades finish up, we're gonna be in a really powerful position. Like, he's obviously aware right now of this push. And he's fully aware of the aggression that he will be under in just a little bit. But my upgrades are already nearly done. Right? Like, the +1/+1 is already almost nearly done. So while I was planning on a completely different strategy, I think we thought quite smartly. And we're gonna start pushing. We're gonna start pushing here. I don't think he expected me to push across the map like this. He is trying to knock down these rocks. I don't give a shit about these rocks. We're going straight up the ramp. And it looks like I am indeed correct in saying that he is going to be playing Mutas here. Otherwise, he definitely would not have been able to do this with the spine crawlers. And long story short, I mean, don't think stealing the gases is worth it. Like, I don't think stealing the gas is worth it. Like, obviously, he's gonna be able to get Mutas out right now, which is fine. I'm gonna send over a bunch of my roaches towards the third base. Basically, we're just trying to optimize the amount of damage that we're doing. In the meantime, I'll get some more queens at home. Which should be, you know, the correct thing to do here. And we'll just take out as many workers as we possibly can here. Many workers as we possibly can. Gotta be careful still, though, because he does have a lot, but... as long as we get, like, a reasonable amount of army ourselves, I think this is gonna be just fine. The thing is, my opponent doesn't really have anything besides those mutas. And as long as we deal with them, we're fine, right? I don't even need my third base, to be completely frank. We'll just transition into something a little more standard now. Okay, getting a lot of spine crawlers, getting a lot of queens. I just really only need to hold on to my main base and my natural. We basically dealt with all of his eco. Like, we got all of his eco dealt with. As long as we get, like, some creep spread between the bases so we can move around the queens, I think we're in a really good spot. Okay. Okay, well, this is fine. We can lose a couple. Okay, starting my my Hydra production now. We'll move out in a little bit. I do need a pretty big amount here, though. I do need a pretty big amount of Hydras before we can properly deal with this. We did clean up pretty much all of his, like, you know, workers and pretty much all of the stuff that he had. So I'm gonna go ahead and fly about here, see what his follow-up plan is. We didn't kill the Spire, so I think he's just... Bon, so ma MMR a... Oh man, he is basically talking about how terrible the matchmaking is or something. Instead of, like, you know, accepting the fact that stealing double gas early on and then not really following it up with very many things is not the greatest strategy. But it's alright. We'll move out in a little bit. Obviously, it's much easier to complain about balance than it is to complain about, you know, your own personal skill and about how terrible matchmaking is and all that sort of thing. I got a lot of Hydras here already. He doesn't have a natural or a third base anymore. So as long as we, you know, as long as we pay attention to what he's doing, I think we're in a great position here to take the game. We have to be careful though. Like, if he manages to kill my army, we're still in a scary position. Like, if he manages to do so, we're still gonna be in a scary position. And it looks like he's actually trying to just simply, that's a changeling right there. Come on. Click the changeling, dude. There we go. As long as we deal with the natural, I think we're fine. Okay, we're gonna start moving out here. He's probably gonna go for a counterattack, which is the reason why I'm gonna be leaving my queens at home. And we're gonna do some aggression here now. +2/+2 is done. Okay. And we'll start droning up some here as well, probably. I thought he was complaining about balance there for a second, but if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't actually. I think he was complaining about the matchmaking and his MMR or something. My French is pretty reasonable, but I didn't get the chance to properly read it right there. Anyway. We'll have to make sure we don't die to like a baneling trap. Obviously, that would be game over if we, you know, do die to that. And it's exactly what he's trying to do right now. But he just simply leaves the game without GG. Alrighty, so here we are in the replay of the game. Now, I quickly want to try and figure out whether or not this gas steal was worth it. The fact of the matter is that he delays his economy quite a bit. And you can notice that already in the supply count right now, right? Like, it may not sound very significant, and it may not be something you really are taking care of, but, like, the problem is that he is obviously investing a lot of resources that will not allow him to really, like, follow this up with anything super powerful. Like, he's stealing the double gas here, which does a reasonable job of delaying me strategy-wise. But in the same time, like, he's also limiting himself severely as far as worker count goes. And I'm not really going to be giving away that work account anytime soon, not like at least early on into the game. And I think up to this very moment here, 5 minutes, I've basically been ahead all the time, right? Like basically up to this point, I've been slightly ahead in economy all the time. Now, on top of that, like on this particular map, you can just sort of shut down all kinds of early game aggression just by simply knocking down these rocks. And because people are oftentimes going to be transitioning towards mutas on this map, I felt like because he was delaying himself already by going for the gas steal, he's gonna be delaying his own tech as well, right? Like if he invests into trying to deny me economy early on, he's obviously also gonna be denying himself a little bit of economy early on by stealing my gas guys, but just simply wasting, you know, potential income from those workers. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, right? Those two workers mine for about 1 mineral a second, like about 0.8 to 1 mineral per second. And they could have been up for, I don't know, the last 4-ish minutes into the game, which results for, I don't know, like anywhere between like 200 to 250 minerals per worker, right? He basically lost himself on top of like, you know, the 100 minerals that the workers are worth and the actual gas itself, like the extractor itself. He basically wasted himself like 500 minerals. That's a lot of income that he just sort of lost out on. And I think in the end, stealing the 2 gases is not worth it. Like, I don't think this is something you want to go for. But anyways, initially early on into the game, my plan was to go for the Zergling speed, then transition into a +1 melee attack with the Zerglings and go for a push with banelings and links. However, obviously sometimes you need to take a change, or you need to make a change of plans. Because your opponent, you know, obviously is gonna do something weird, and you have to just go ahead and make a change of plans. So this is my general follow-up to all kinds of early game aggression and all kinds of weirdness, and that is just a straight up +1/+1 missile upgrade with the carapace upgrade as well, and then a combination with roach speed. So basically, right when you start up the lair, you start up the double evo chambers, and a little bit later you also start the roach ward. You line up the +1/+1 missile upgrades with the gases that you've got. Then you also get the Glio reconstitution right when the lair finishes on the roach ward. And these 3 upgrades will finish up roughly around the same time. Now I start making upgrades, or I start making roaches rather, right after hitting full saturation in 2 bases and a couple of workers in the 3rd. And I just simply moved out. And I mean, because he like cost himself, I don't know, by this time, like, you know, several hundreds of minerals and basically a big chunk of his army, it is just simply not gonna be enough here for him to properly deal with all of the units that I managed to push out at this point in the game. So, a change of plans, not what I had initially planned when starting up this game, but hopefully it taught you a little bit about something in Zerg vs. Zerg. If you have any questions, let me know down below the like button in the comment section of the video. I'm always hanging out there, always reading practically all of the comments on all alt videos as well. So if you have any comments, let them, you know, down below, and I will try my very best to answer them. Or maybe someone else in the community can be so kind to answer the question if they know the answer to it as well. But anyways, I want to thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!